Ladies and gentlemen, I know you've been waiting for a whole week, so let's get the James Well radio show underway.
James Well, the voice of reason on the James Well radio show.
Well, welcome to the program. Here we are, another week, and believe it or not, it's nearly a year. This is show 41 of the James Well radio show. So you may look back here, of course, and listen to 41 hours. I can't believe it, 41 hours. Anyway, Rob's here.
I am. Yes.
Yeah. Rob produces the program. We thought we'd do it differently this week. Sometimes, of course, we have a guest on that takes quite a large chunk of the show. So for this week, we decided to do it differently. We won't have guests.
I have to do more talking then.
Well, yes, I thought it was about time you did something, but I thought because we end up with no time for comments and stuff like that, I thought we would just sort of chat for a while and try and work out, where we should go from here as far as saving the world is concerned. Because I don't know about you, dear listener, but I get fairly fed up every now and then, and this is one of those days. You read the papers at the moment; it's just full of doom and gloom, and so I thought I would spend our time together today berating Rob for no real reason except that I can, and really reading out some of your Facebook comments, tweets, emails, whatever we've got in. We've put them all together, so we'll do quite a lot of those during the program today. If I get bored, I'll interview Rob.
Oh.
Well, actually, what am I going to talk to you about? So here's Rob.
Hello.
Rob is in our production studio, which is hidden away, actually. We can't tell you exactly where it is. Could be down the end of your street, but it's probably not. I'm sitting in a little cupboard under my stairs, which is where I do this from. And Rob puts it all together. That's not your real job, is it, though?
No.
What's your real job?
My real job, just saving the world wherever I can. I put on, pants round my trousers and all that kind of thing.
Now, you think he's joking, but actually, Rob is a committed member of the Jedi sect.
Yes.
And you might laugh, but he actually takes it very seriously. And he goes to meetings and does all sorts of strange things, don't you?
I do, yes. I save the planet wherever I can.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about a strange. Sorry, just dropping stuff on the. Let's talk about strange sex before we do anything else. The entire world is falling apart, and politicians are to blame, basically, aren't they? I mean, I'm sure there must be some politicians who actually believe. I'm sure, actually, it must be the majority of politicians who believe that they want to help and make people's lives better. But it ends up in people becoming polarized about their views. And whatever your views are, even if your view is you're a Jedi, I mean, that is a political statement in a way. And we end up, don't we? We end up where it's all of us. We're all guilty. We all think we are right. And politicians end up, of course, representing us because you just couldn't have everybody having their say all the time, could you? And they do strange things, like they end up taking you to war. And I'm just getting fed up with it. I'm just getting fed up with it. Here we're on the 21st century. Can anybody tell me why the Middle East is still behaving like it did 2,000 years ago? No, nobody can. Can anybody tell me why religion has, the sort of the religions of Christianity, Islam and Judaism are still, although they all tell you they're all inclusive and they all want, why are they still arguing with each other? And why in so many people's minds, it seems to be more important, the religious aspect, than the day-to-day lives of people? I mean, why? Can you tell me? I mean, you can't tell me, Robbo, can you?
I can't tell you anything.
No. Nobody can tell me. You know, I don't know. It just, you know, there was a time when you could have a religion, you could have a philosophy, you could have a thought, and you could even discuss it in the pub over a pint. And now you're scared of making any points in case everybody gets upset and you become politically incorrect. It's a strange way we live, isn't it?
I live in a strange way, yeah.
Yeah. You were going to say something, but you couldn't think of anything to say, could you?
I just did.
Be honest. Well, yes, I know, but you were going to say something deep and meaningful.
I could do, but then that would be pushing my deep, meaningful thoughts on the public.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, let's talk about this other thing. Let's talk about sexual orientation. I don't care what anybody's sexual orientation is, as long as it's legal. Well, actually, having said that, of course, being gay was illegal even in this country until some years ago, still illegal in a number of Commonwealth countries. And there's been a story going around that some people think Commonwealth countries where homosexuality is illegal should actually be banned, A, from the Commonwealth and B, from the Commonwealth Games. And interestingly, Elton John has said that he thinks homosexual rights have taken a step backwards. And here we are, again in the 21st century, where if you know, why on earth is the private life of some people anything to do with anyone else? And why is that such a big problem for those of a religious disposition? At any time you want to tell me your thoughts on this, all you've got to do is go to our email or go on Facebook. Go on Facebook. That's the best way, isn't it?
Facebook.com/Jameswell Radio.
Yeah, go on there but be civilised, by the way. Be civilised. Otherwise, you just behave the way the politicians in this world behave. Be civil. Have a civilised discussion. Let me look at some of your thoughts. I asked the question earlier this week on Facebook. Homophobic Commonwealth countries, should they be banned from competing in the Commonwealth Games? And here are just a few of your thoughts. Keith Robert Young says, bloody hell, James, that a difficult and awkward one. Perhaps they should be re-educated. Ban them until they accept all as equals and no exception. Well, that's an understanding thought. Nick Edmond says, just ask Elton John. He appears to be God's spokesman. I think you've taken what Elton John has said completely the wrong way, Nick, but okay. Kevin Ackerman says, no, because the participants of the Games may not agree with their government's homophobic views. Surely they can't be treated with the same, or can't be tarred, I should say, with the same brush. Good point. Interesting point. Colin Kerrigan, hello Colin, he says, I don't have a problem if a person's gay or straight, tattooed or religious, whether when competing or in any other situation. What's wrong is being forced to accept that homosexuality is the norm. Are we all to only have opinions that kowtow to others' whims? I don't like tattoos. I don't like religion. I think it's unnatural to love same-sex, to name but a few things, but that's my opinion. I don't tell others they must accept it, and I think it's wrong to tell other people to try to stop me or other people to stop me behaving or having my choices. Well, listen, Colin, I think I disagree with your views. I think tattoos are wonderful, and I agree with you. I'm not fond of religion. I disagree about unnatural. I think whatever is natural for you is natural. I mean, I don't think anybody is forcing anyone to accept it as the norm. I mean, it might be the norm for Elton John and his husband. It wouldn't be the norm for me, but then we all have different norms, don't we? I think that's it, really. Rob?
I'm here. I'm still here. I'm listening.
Did you want to say anything about that? I keep thinking I should bring you in, Rob, but, feel free to.
I'm not normal, so...
Well, no, I know, but you don't get embarrassed being a gay person listening to this, do you?
Not at all.
No, good. Ian Walsh says he loves women too much to worry about gay issues. I always find people, Ian, who say they love women too much. I suppose you'll sit there in your bedroom with your spectacles on, Lee in Harlow says yes. Diane Hammond says yep. Andrea Lee says yes. Francis Lawson says yes. Eric Wiltshire says yes. Steve Archer, absolutely. David Hoy says no, of course not. But they do need to become more human. I just wrestle with why there are so many people who are so concerned about other people's activities. I don't know anybody, well, none of my friends anyway, who wishes to force their opinions onto other people. And I know lots of people I don't agree with. Lots of my friends I don't agree with at all with some of the things they say. And I know full well that they don't agree with a lot of what I say. But you know, in a civilized, rational society, you listen to somebody else's point of view, and then you say, well, okay, well, you know, you've got the right to think that way. I think differently, but there we are, and on you go. And I've no idea why, you know, people of differing religions, differing ethnicities, different sexual orientation just can't get on. And what was Elton John, to finish this, Elton John, he said he thought if Jesus came back today, and then there'll be people saying, well, you know, have you got any proof Jesus or any of this was ever there? Well, no, it's a faith, isn't it? Although some people will say until they're blue in the face, yeah, oh yeah, it's historically right. I'm not sure that that's correct. What was that noise about?
That was just me bashing the microphone.
Why?
Because I was turning the page to see what was coming up next.
Well, that's interesting because what comes up next is whatever's in my head, isn't it, really?
Oh, you want me to bash your head?
No, I wouldn't if I were you. Okay. You see, you bash the mic and then I forget what I'm talking about. Anyway, it was Elton John who said that if Jesus came back today, he would probably embrace all people's differences and he'd be in favour of allowing gay people to be themselves, which I think I probably have to agree with. The other thing I found strange, he's going to talk to the Pope. He said when he sees the Pope, he's going to talk to the Pope and convince him. Good luck with that. You see, there's another question. You know, the Catholic Church is one of the most wealthy organisations in the world, followed, you know, absolute devoted followers in some of the poorest parts of the world. And I don't follow any religion. I'm not religious. I don't say that there is not a God. I've no idea. I'm an awful agnostic. You know, it might be right. I think to suddenly say there definitely isn't something. Like you say, there definitely is something without actually knowing. I don't understand that. But, I mean, why don't some of these really wealthy organisations, these wealthy religions, get rid of some of their wealth and help the poor people of the world? I mean, it's a bit crass, isn't it, to say that, but it does occur, doesn't it? Anyway, okay, I've let off enough steam. If you want to do the same, all you've got to do is go to our Facebook page. What is it?
It's facebook.com/James Whale Radio.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. Very glad you did that. You're listening to the James Whale Radio Show online, and of course you get us via all kinds of places. Seems fairly silly to say you can audio burst. You can download us from iTunes, can't you? You can get us on the website. You can get us through a few radio stations, a number of radio stations around the world, actually. We have listeners all over the world. I'd be interested to hear from my listeners in Spain and America about some of these thoughts. See if you differ with what I've said and with what people listening have thought. But there's no point in me saying where you can pick us up, because you're listening.
Yeah, but the people might want to listen to older episodes.
Oh, well, if you want to listen to older episodes, just go to jameswhaleradio.co.uk. If you go to jameswhaleradio.co.uk, you can even see old bits of TV shows I've done. All sorts of stuff.
I put a few up this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you put up this week?
I put up one that you did for Central Weekend Television.
My golly, that's about 25 years ago.
And a couple of the old classic James Whale radio shows, one on baldness.
Yes.
And another one on the royal family.
Right.
And I'm sure there was another one.
Yeah. I'll have to have a look back. I'm sure my views changed over the years. I used not to be a royalist, and now I'm a huge fan of the royal family. Now, You can get upset about that, some of you, if you wish. But what is it? 56p a year for the royal family. A penny a week, isn't it? Something like that.
Bargain.
Yeah, and you get all of them. You don't just get the Queen and Prince Philip. You get the whole lot thrown in for 1p a week. I think that has to be the best value. I bet if we had a president, it would be so much more expensive. Shall we have a little commercial break now?
Go on then. Would you like a free audiobook? Our friends at Audible are giving everybody a free audiobook just by going to the James Whale Radio Show website, jameswhaleradio.co.uk. All you need to do is click on the Audible link, register, and you'll get your free audiobook. It's a bit like a book club, and remember, you can leave at any time and you still get to keep your free audiobook. So what are you waiting for? Just head over to the James Whale Radio Show website, jameswhaleradio.co.uk, and click on that Audible link now.
Why don't you interview me?
Oh, right, okay, no pressure. Okay, so, Mr. Whale, what are you wearing today?
Jeans and a T-shirt.
Do you often favour the jeans and the T-shirt?
Well, I do when it's as hot as it has been, yes, yeah. And, you know, you can never go wrong with a good pair of jeans and a T-shirt from TK Maxx, my favourite store.
And what are your plans for the rest of the week?
I have no real plans. I'll be doing a couple of radio shows. I'm going to do Sky TV on Sunday morning. But apart from that, I'm not got an awful lot on.
And how is the allotment going?
Ah, the allotment. Mrs. W's allotment is going very well, thank you. There is in the south of the country at the moment a lack of water, and so there is a lot of watering going on. But the courgettes are coming. The broad beans are doing well. We had broad beans for tea and new potatoes off the allotment the other day, so that's good.
And the dogs? How are the dogs doing?
You're making me cough now. I've got hay fever as well. That's another thing at the moment. How are you doing, boys? Just having a look. You all right? Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Is it quite cramped under the stairs?
Yeah, well, they're small dogs. They fit in. They've got shelves. They lie on the shelves.
Very good.
Dog shelves.
I'm running out of questions.
I know, I can tell. It's embarrassing. Now, I think quite enough of me for the moment. So I think, as usual, our very good friends at talentgb.com. Now, have you actually been to their website to look at it? Well, you should. Talentgb.com supply the entertainment for the program at the moment. And if you go to their website, talentgb.com, you can see, hear, and find out how to hire the artists who appear on this program and all the other artists that are on their website. Today we have Mark Storey, a couple of tracks from Mark, the first of which now is called You Are My World.
You come to me when I'm falling down. You hold my hand when the clouds come again. You whisper to me when the storm is at my door. You cover me when I feel that I might drown.
Right, here's something else I asked on Facebook this week. David Cameron is going to give... put it into law that we give aid to countries who need it. 7% of GDP is going to be a legal requirement of this country under new legislation. At the moment, that equates to about 12 billion. I beg your pardon. How many million is a billion? 1,000 million. 1,000 million 12 times. Now, I think we should be helping countries who are facing bad, and I think we should be helping people who are starving. I have absolutely no doubt about that at all. But two things. First of all, an enormous amount of this money seems to me to get swallowed up by bureaucracy, and it gets swallowed up by people who don't use it for the good of others. That's point one. Point two is we don't have any money at the moment, and so we are having to borrow money to give it away. So it seems strange that we should be putting this into our law. I mean, if we can afford it, we should give it away. If people are in absolute need and it's a life-threatening situation, we should obviously be helping. But writing it into law, why?
I don't get it. Why is it a law you have to give them money? Can't we just decide
I'll tell you why. Because it's to placate, for some strange reason, Nick Clegg. And it's one of those ideas that the Liberal Democrats had, and David Cameron, for a quiet life, I think, unless it's something morally he believes is right. Listen, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying putting it into law seems strange, and not actually becoming more accountable for where this money goes, because this money is either our taxes, well, it is our taxes, and B, it's money we're having to borrow to give away. So we've had a load of response on that. Vast majority of people say no, it shouldn't be. This is Ed Taylor, and he says, hi Ed, he says, I'm no fan of Cameron or the Tory party, but yes, I'm happy for what is still a first world, relatively wealthy country to aid foreign development. Despite the numerous problems this country has, we are still considerably better off than a large proportion of the world, and we should be proud that we are in a position to be able to offer help in the first place. Well, Ed, I agree, but I'm not 100% sure that we are sending aid to countries because they need it. We're sending aid to countries because we want them to buy stuff we produce, quite often weaponry, and we send it perhaps for some of the wrong reasons. But then maybe I'm just becoming old and cynical. Claire Byrne says, if Cameron is willing to give that amount away, why is he happy to cut disability funds? You see, I'd like to know some answers to these questions. I would love David Cameron to answer these questions, but of course, prime ministers are protected by a fleet of press officers and will only be interviewed by people who will ask them the questions that they have first okayed. Mark Cole says, meanwhile, there is an 11 billion black hole in our road maintenance budget. Go figure. Well, I think giving it to people who need it abroad rather than mending roads is probably beneficial, it has to be said, Mark. And I have no problem. As long as this money is going to help individuals who are really, who haven't got enough to eat, who haven't got anywhere warm to live. What worries me is I see a lot of this money going to organisations and then ending up paying to run these organisations. David Watkins says the correct statement is David Cameron is happy to borrow 12 million annually in order to fund foreign development. Are you? Thank you, David. That was a much better way of putting the question. Means the same thing, though. Hayden Jones said, I'd rather pump 12 million into the rapidly failing NHS. Simon Spragg, typical media rubbish. Speak first to understand the complete story, then and only then explain a considered argument. Sorry, this is just media tripe. Well, Simon, it seems to me that you don't know because you haven't explained anything, mate. Susan says, absolutely no, we should use the money for our own people. We all know it ends up in the pockets of corrupt governments. I have said many times, why do the UK government keep doing this when we need it here? Well, I think other people are in need. Lots of people are in need. I just want people to come and talk and be prepared to answer questions as to where this money goes. And a politician will tell you, if they're shoved into a corner, they'll say, well, yeah, we can't account for it all but a majority of it does go. The majority, how much of this majority? And where does the money that doesn't go where it should go? Andy Payne says, use it for our own country. Tim Shepherd, no, get the problems in Britain sorted first. NHS, 500,000 using food banks, people out of work, benefit street, dolights, the banks, utility companies, roads, the list is endless. But I think everybody agrees we must use some of it to help people in dire situations. Sorry, were you going to say something? Then I could hear heavy breathing in the background.
Really?
Yeah. Did you have a point on that?
Well, no, I'm just still like law. Why does it have to be a law?
Yeah, I don't know because another government of different political persuasion, presumably, can come into power and can repeal the law. So therefore, it's a waste of parliamentary time. I'll tell you what's another. When we're talking about a waste of parliamentary time, here's a waste of parliamentary time. They've just passed a law, just about to pass a law, that says you have the right to ask your employer to work flexi time. But your employer is under no obligation to give it to you. Well, if I came to you and I said, look, Rob, I want to work flexi time. I only want to work these amount of hours. And I'd rather come in at sort of 11 o'clock in the morning and go home at 8 or whatever. I mean, you'd think about it, whether it was you'd think about it. And if it helped your business, you'd probably say, yes, jump at it. If it didn't, you'd have to say, look, I'm sorry, we can't run the business that way. They've passed a law that means nothing. They've passed a law that means an employer has to think about it. Well, most employers would think about it if they could give an employee what they wanted for the sake of better relationships with their employees. Presumably, they would do it.
So, do you want to work flexi time then?
No, I think I work fairly flexible time. Actually, I'm absolutely fine. Thank you very much indeed. I might just finish about 10 minutes earlier today.
That's okay.
How long has this programme run so far?
About 26 minutes.
26 minutes? Yeah, I might knock it on the head and go off and do something else now then. On the other hand, that might be difficult to accommodate, mightn't it?
Well, I don't know why you're asking me, because at the end of the day, I don't employ you. No,
quite right. I've noticed there's no money coming in. Maybe we should sell a few more books.
Go to the James Whale shop and buy a book.
Yeah. Maybe everybody listening to the programme today, everybody listening to programme, this is show 41, with this is the no guest show. Well, there've been a few no guest shows. We just thought we would do a no guest show. No real reason, actually. Did we just forget to book a guest for the programme?
Yeah, well...
No, you complained that you never had a word to say last week, and now this week you could say whatever you want, and you haven't got much to say.
I've had a long time to think about it, and I'm thinking that people don't want to hear what I've got to say.
Well, why did you spend the whole week moaning about the fact that nobody ever asked you your opinion about anything?
Because I just like to moan to you.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, never mind. Okay, so I just thought that was a waste of time. Passing a law that says you now have the right to ask for flexi time, but there is nothing in law that says your employer, because there never could be, because sometimes you're running a business and there are all kinds of businesses where flexi time wouldn't be applicable. Can you imagine fighting a war and the troops go to the commanding officer and say, look, I've been firing this gun for about the last 10 minutes. I'm going to take a break, if that's okay.
You should do, because it's probably noise,
Yeah, actually, that would stop wars, wouldn't it, really? Well, Andy Murray's out of the Wimbledon. Britain's out of the World Cup. We might win the Tour de France, but it's unlikely.
There was a lot of cyclists in Wales the other day. Is that part of it?
No.
They all have
I don't think it's...
yellow shirts on.
No, I don't think it's going to Wales, is it? I think it's going to Yorkshire, down to Cambridge, through Essex and into London, and then into France, because it is, of course, after all, the Tour de France. Is it not?
So they're in Britain?
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're in Britain for 3 days.
I'm lost.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they are.
Yeah, well, they are at the moment, yeah. There's going to be the big opening I think it's in Sheffield tomorrow night. Well, we're recording this on a Thursday this week, so Friday, yeah. And that's Thursday. What is the date today?
I'm so confused right now.
No, I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, we did ask what your thoughts on the World Cup are now that it's finished. Well, it's not finished, but we are.
We're finished.
No, the World Cup is finished. Are you still enjoying the World Cup?
No, I've stopped watching.
Why?
Well, because there's no point.
Well, you know, I drew Belgium in the sweepstake.
How are you doing?
Well, we're in.
You're still in, are you?
Yeah, we're still in. I'm pretty sure. I worked out that I will win 64 quid in the sweepstake for one of the radio stations I work on if Belgium win. And I'm going to spend the entire amount on Belgium chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's okay. Stephen Scally Wheatley, is that a real name? I don't know. He says he's still enjoying the World Cup, much better than the dreary, depressing soaps on TV we have to put up with month after month. Nobody said, by the way, Stephen, you've got to watch TV. You don't have to sit there and watch television mindless. I know people do, but, you can get out. You can go for a walk. You can go to the pub. You can listen to the radio. You can put this programme in your iPhone, put your earpieces on and go for a jog, can't you?
I've got an idea.
What?
You know, press the red button and you can watch extra features.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have the World Cup on TV, HD and all the rest of it until England's out of it, and then it just goes on the red button and then the TV comes back to normal?
Well, I suppose so. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other because I'm not going to be watching television. The evenings are too nice to sit inside watching TV. Mm-hmm. I can hear the seagulls every time you open your microphone. So we know that you are near the sea. I'd be out there walking along the coast if I were you. Sharon Borland says the World Cup, what World Cup? And Sharon Cook says it seems to have got a little bit boring now, James. Richard Allen says no, I'm not watched any of it. Football's dull. Richard, you've got to get into it, mate. It's exciting once you decide that you are going to support a team. Caroline says, I think it has been one of the least exciting tournaments for years. Really, Caroline? I don't know how you can say that. There have been more goals in this year's World Cup than there have been for years and years. Pete Stein says it's becoming very defensive and boring. How can you say that? Listen, the last couple of days, it's a lot of the knockouts so far have gone to penalties. It's been great. Alan Bell says it's a boring waste of time, far too much on TV. What would you like to see on TV, Alan? And Keith Robert Young says, of course, my missus is Brazilian. Well, there we are. Did you see that appalling advert that Gillette put out the other day? Mrs. W was complaining about it.
How did you go from Brazilian to Gillette?
Well, because Gillette were advertising, have you made sure that you are properly shaved down there for summer?
Down where?
Down there.
Oh,
That's
down there.
Brazilian.
Ah.
Yeah. Mrs. W said, that is really sexist. They're doing that to women. What about men? What about men?
Do you shave down there?
Oh, I shave everywhere, mate, don't you?
Sort of.
Yeah, I mean, I really could not be harassed with huge... I don't know why we're talking about this, but I suppose, nothing else to do today. I wouldn't want to have big bunches of hair under my armpits.
Oh, okay.
I shave my armpits, absolutely.
Oh, I don't shave my armpits.
And you keep everything tidy. Keep everything tidy. There's nothing worse. Have you ever been on a beach and blokes walking along with like a hedgehog either side of their swing trunks? Great big bush is, and some of these guys who just walk with beards as well, beards that kind of grow rampant all over the place. I don't understand guys who want that.
I don't do beaches. I don't like the sand.
You don't do beaches?
No.
Why? It's great.
No, it's just sand. It gets everywhere.
The best time, we don't have to lie on the beach, take a little chair, but the best time to walk on the beach is in the evening as the sun is going down. Hang on, just a moment, don't go away. Hello. Sorry about that, just had to go and take a call. I thought it was Hollywood, sadly it wasn't. But you never know, do you? The phone rings, and sometimes it could be something very lucrative, and other times it could be completely nothing at all. Now, listen, why don't you take a little look at our website, jameswellradio.co.uk, if you haven't already been there. And if you would like a free audio book, and again, as summer is with us now, people will be going on holiday. You might be taking a trip somewhere. You might be traveling away. If you go to the website, the front page of the website, there is an Audible logo there. What?
Why do you keep thinking I'm wanting to say something?
Well, because every time you open your microphone, I can hear it. Thank you.
Okay.
So every time you do that, I know you're thinking of saying something, or, you know, so, and to be honest, it pisses me off.
Okay.
Good. Where was I? Oh, yes, yeah. So if you go to the website, and you see the Audible link there. If you click on Audible and follow the links, you have to register with them. You can then You did it again.
That's not me talking or thinking of talking.
You were just breathing heavily in my ear.
I'll take a step backwards from the microphone.
Yeah, it's like having you hovering on my shoulder.
I'm going... Is that better?
Just take one step further back.
How about
that? One more.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
Well, I'm at the wall now.
Yes, I know, and if you talk again, you'll be the other side of it. So anyway, as I was saying, if you want an Audible book, and there are many to choose from, including my own, of course, but you don't have to have that. You don't have to have the James Well book, Almost a Celebrity, which took me a whole week sitting in a very small, confined space reading it. But you don't have to have that. You can have any book you want. You get a free audio book if you register with Audible. Follow the links. If you're already registered with Amazon, you don't even need to do that. Just click on Audible, and you can get your free book. So do that, and then we've given you something to do whilst you're on holiday, and I think that's going to be a pretty good way to go. I'll tell you about what else has been not worrying me, but I have been thinking about over the past few days, and that is renewable energy. And I'll tell you why. Renewable energy is always a subject that gets a lot of people going. Lots of the greenies, they want it everywhere you go. But those people who live near wind turbines get really upset about it. Now, I have to say that I think they look quite nice. So up on the Yorkshire moors or just off the coast of Southend in Essex, you can see all these wind turbines. And people complain like mad. They complain the whole time about how they are not really aesthetically very nice. I disagree. I think they're great. And more people, farmers, are now setting up wind farms. All right? And these, to actually make solar energy work, you need to have hundreds, if not thousands, of these solar panels. You can have them on your roof, of course, and a lot of people, maybe you have got them on your roof. But if you really want to produce power, you need to have fields full of them. And this apparently is becoming big business amongst farmers. There are fields everywhere full of solar panels. Now, you don't really see them. I haven't seen any. But they're there, and people are complaining about them and saying they're a blight on the countryside, and they're being built where the land is available to grow food. What the hell has it got to do with anyone else? There's an enormous amount of green and pleasant land about, and we still buy food in from abroad, whatever we're doing. Farmers are finding it really difficult. And I think if a farmer can be sure, because they have to commit to something like 25 years, that they put these solar panels in fields, and there's still room underneath the panels and around the panels for sheep to graze, I just cannot understand what these people are moaning about. I'd be fascinated to know. I did put this out on Facebook. Ken Wallace said wind farms. He's not a big fan. I don't know why. Les Bush, did they complain about pylons when they first appeared? Well, yeah, I complain more about pylons, but they're necessary than these. Debbie says there's nothing wrong with it. It's just something else for the fantastic British people to moan about. Debbie, do you know, I think you have a very good point. And Barry Love says noise, plain and simple. You need to stand close to a wind farm on a healthy, blowy day to understand the whoomp, whoomp, whoomp noise of those enormous blades thundering around. Can't say I'd like to live anywhere near them. And Ed Taylor says, I love wind farms. The sound they make, the look of them, the whole thing. They are only noisy when you get up close to them. And I'm with you. I wouldn't want to live near them. I must be honest, because I think that must be a bit of a nightmare. But I do like the sound of them. What else have we got here? Greg Thomas says 10 miles out to sea. That's fine. Tim Wheater says it's not upsetting. It's essential. Nick Callahan said in France, hi Nick, bonjour monsieur. In France we use nuclear power much cleaner, and our bills are half those in England. EDF is French, and if they extended the power grid beneath the channel, England's bills would fall too. Instead, the UK government would rather rely on Russian gas and bogus green energy companies. Look carefully at the board of directors. You're listening to the James Well Radio Show online and, of course, on a number of radio stations around the world. I don't know why people get so wound up about these things, really. What about you?
I think they're okay. I think out at sea they look a bit of an eyesore, though. Can I come closer? I'm too far away.
What?
I'm still too far away. Can I come closer?
Oh, come back a moment. Just come back a little bit in there. Go on.
That's better.
Yeah. So you think they're a bit of an eyesore out there, do you?
In the sea, I think on land they'd be better.
Yeah. Have you ever got up close to one?
I haven't actually, because they're in the middle of the sea.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not. They're on the land as well. I should think where you live there are some around this, and they go whoop, 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 make that sort of noise as they go round. But it's not. Not many people live that close to them. But I don't understand this. The thing that I don't understand is this business about these solar farms. Farmers are having a hard time, and if people are not going to pay for what they're growing, then for goodness sake, don't grow it. Mrs. W always says that she doesn't know why we grow food for animals. We could all just become vegetarians and eat the food that's grown.
It's an interesting point.
Yeah. Bit of cheese, bit of bread.
Oh, I can't do cheese.
Well, no, I love cheese. I love cheese.
Oh, it's just milk that's just been left, isn't it?
No. Do you know how cheese was invented? It's quite interesting. What they say, it was a Roman soldier who had a sheep or a goat's stomach. Could have been a cow's stomach. They used to have these, and they kept all their whatever they wanted in it. So they kept their milk in it. And because you use something, I think it's called rennet, I'm not sure, in a sheep's stomach or a cow's stomach anyway, this is what turns the milk into cheese.
So if you put milk inside a goat, you get goat's cheese, and if you put milk inside a cow, you get cow's cheese.
Well, as long as you use the milk from that animal, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't get goat's cheese from cow's milk, would you?
What if you put it in the goat's stomach?
Oh, I don't want to think about it. That's made me feel a bit ill, to be honest.
You are listening to James and Rob on the James Well Radio Show.
Right, that time again for a little bit of entertainment. TalentGB.com, of course, supply the entertainment on the James Well Radio Show. And just as a matter of interest, if you are an artiste of some kind, a ventriloquist, a comedian, you've got a band, you're a solo singer, whatever you do in the world of entertainment, why not check out TalentGB.com, because they could help promote you. And they supply us the talent for the program. Today, it's Mark Storey. And if you go to talentgb.com, you can see videos of Mark, you can listen to more of his music, and you can find out how to hire him. Right now, here he is with Dance Again. You know, we started the programme today talking about religion and how I can't understand how, the world is being so horrible to everybody, and a lot of it's got to do with people's religious beliefs and everything else. There's a little bit of good news on the religious horizon.
Please tell.
The Pope has excommunicated the Mafia.
Is that a wise move?
Well, the Pope seems to think so. And, he should know. The Catholicism, based in Italy, Mafia, based in Italy, well, Sicily, and the Pope has decided to excommunicate all members of the mafioso.
I bet the confessionals are very boring now.
I bet they're really scared. I bet, actually, when the Pope excommunicated them, they've all decided to leave the Brotherhood.
Is he going to excommunicate anybody else?
Well, I did ask that question. I put that out there earlier this week. I said, the Pope has excommunicated the Mafia. Who should be next? Phil Burston said Tony Blair. Colin Bates said Luis Suarez. John Hancock said perhaps you. Thank you very much indeed, John. Keith Casablanca, made-up name, I'm sure. People that organise bullfighting and the other bull taunting in the streets of Spain and other countries, they should be excommunicated. That's interesting, I suppose. Andy says, how about God? Pixie Witherington Smythe said, more to the point, do the Mafia care? And all those of you who've said football teams, I'm just discounting you. All those of you who've said supermarkets, Hayden Hewitt, start with everybody at Vatican City. I mean, that's just silly, isn't it? And Tim Summers, One Direction. What sort of excuse is that? And Kay Farwell says Gordon Ramsay.
Why Gordon Ramsay?
I don't know. I really don't know at all. And I think that's probably a very good place to stop the programme today.
Okay.
But just let me remind you, of course, that you can go to our website and download a month of free movies if you click on the Love Film banner.
Right at the top.
Right at the top. Look at it there, in the corner. Right. The other side, you've got Audible, a free book, free audio book, and then you can get a free month of movies. We're very good, aren't we, to people? We are very good to people. And, of course, go to the shop, jameswellradio.co.uk/shop. I'll see you next time. What did you do then? You made another noise in the background.
That was my pen. Do you know my... hang on. I've just thrown a pen. I'm not using that pen again.
You know, I'm doing a programme, and all you're doing the whole time is fidget.
Trying to add a bit of, extras.
Well, it didn't work, did it?
I've got a 50p coin here. I'll spin that.
I'm going. I'll see you later.
Heads or tails?
All right, tails. Go on.
Heads.
Okay, you send me £100.
Okay.
James Well, the voice of reason on the James Well Radio Show.
You're listening to the James Well Radio Show. For more information, visit www.jameswellradio.co.uk. Why not check us out on Facebook.com/Jameswell Radio Show, or follow James on Twitter @the James Whale. James Whale, the voice of reason.